Hello, May.
Hello, Moxie.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. I've finished all of my work that I had to get done, so the rest of the day I can just laze around.
Woo!
Like a lady of leisure.
That's us, being in your 30s, ladies of leisure.
Oh, yeah.
Which involves...
nothing but time.
Which involves dumpy pajama pants and never leaving your house. So what's new in your life, May?
Well, I think I mentioned last ep that by trying to go outside my comfort zone, I had applied to do a little presentation at the library.
Yeah.
So I was approved, which I think I said last time. So I have most of this. I have the outline of what I want to say. Those slides are all finished. And I've been taking photos to insert. And I'm really doing a pretty good job, if I do say so myself.
Man, you've been productive. This is not last minute at all. You're going to be all prepared.
Oh, no. I want it to be really flossy.
Nice.
I'm like an ambassador of doll women.
Mm-hmm.
I had to put on a good front. I'm even going to have like... Well, I mean, if people
you want to
don't
show
know
them
about it,
that doll women aren't all crazy. That's really what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be honest, surprise, surprise, if your only exposure to it is the online community, you would probably think that doll fans are not very nice.
Would you?
Because there's a lot of drama.
I mean,
Just a lot of gatekeeping, but you get that in any community.
Exactly.
But there's lots of like, oh, your doll's cheap, or your doll's this, or your doll's that.
Yeah.
And it's very, I mean, at the end of the day, we're all adults playing with dolls, so maybe just slow your roll a little bit. That goes for all of you. Slow your roll. Be nice.
Yeah, I'm not...
Well, that's the thing.
Like, it takes the fun out of it for you if you're worried what other people are going to say about your passion towards the thing.
Yes, it does. It totally takes the fun out. And unfortunately, because it's kind of a lucrative hobby, there are a lot of scammers in the community too.
Oh,
and if you,
wow.
Yeah, which is sad. And if you don't know what to look for, it's not safe to buy off eBay. Like, full stop. You can't.
Dang.
I would never suggest that a new person buy something off eBay. And definitely not Wish. Definitely not AliExpress. Don't do it. But yeah, for someone buying their first doll, like, 100% do not buy it on eBay because you're going to get ripped off. You'll either get a fake or nothing.
Does it matter if it's a fake if you're just doing it because you enjoy the look?
It actually does, and that's one of the hugest things. Do you want me to? I can tell you if you want.
We can move on.
Okay, but just
you can tell me You can tell me offline. You can tell me on the way to Maine with like visuals.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I will, and because it's a huge deal. And anyone out there who's interested, May 5th. At noon at the St. John Public Library, I'll be giving a presentation, and you can find out why it's really bad to have a fake doll.
And May can also definitely chat with you afterwards. So please, if you come because you listen to this podcast, go say hi to May.
Yeah, that would be awesome, actually.
It'd be very exciting.
Yay.
Because there are strangers that listen to this, and we want to be friends with all of you.
I want to be friends with anyone who is interested in what I have to say.
And we will not be policing how your love is projected into the world. You can send your love out any positive way you want.
That's absolutely true. And to send that out and to receive it back, that's how you start the euphoralytic reaction. Once you're putting that love out, whatever form it's going to take for you, if it's writing, if it's making something, knitting, doing a kind deed for someone. These are all ways of showing love and sending it out into the world. That goes out, it reverberates, it's going to expand, and then come back into yourself and enrich your life.
If you're enriching your life, it's just love in itself, too.
That's right, yeah. And you can, when you focus on yourself and enrich your own life, it's also enriching the universe in general and helping everyone out. And then when you send that love back out to other people, that's just tenfold. And everyone gets a little piece of love.
And that's that euphoralytic feeling. Yay!
Mm-hmm. It certainly is. Wonderful. I'm just looking at my notes here.
Sweet.
Oh, I have something that's interesting. Would you like to hear it? And then I can hear your thoughts back.
Okay.
All right. A couple episodes ago, I said, don't get your opinions from memes on Facebook. Well, I have found the exception to that. I wrote it down in my book. Yes, I want to read this to you. I thought it was really interesting. Okay. People are afraid of going back in time and changing something small, completely changing the present. Why do we think small things we do today will not affect the future? What do you think of that?
It's like the Kramer head blow up gif.
I really liked it.
It makes sense, because you're probably thinking, or at least how I'm thinking, we think even if we do little bad things, they're inconsequential, but you're arguing they could make a big difference in the future that we're just not recognizing right now.
Yes, exactly. And I think people, it's kind of discouraging when you think about on a global scale how things are happening with the environment and just the political climate, things like that. And it can seem like it's all beyond you. But in reality, there are things that you can do in your own life to affect change. If you are kind to those around you, if you're good, if you become aware of situations that are happening, you can be part of the change that sets this reaction in motion that can help change the outcome of the future.
Or just
that's the way I took it.
Or just choosing not to do little negative things.
Yeah, that works too. Just, focus on.
If you think, no one cares, and then it's no, stealing that little thing, or not helping that person, or laughing at someone. Who knows what will happen in the future with that being the flap of the butterfly wings, quote.
I don't know why I made a ghost noise for that.
There's really nothing new in my... Oh, well, I guess I haven't told everyone.
Oh, yes.
I've been... So this isn't a meme. This is just a thought idea that's kind of being disseminated. And it really does make sense, but I just got the first-hand look and opinion of it the past couple of weeks. So... Our friend T. Johnny has put it on Facebook a few times, and it is true when you sit down and think about it. When we say people are disabled and that, we always think of those people as other, it's not us. But the reality is we are all temporarily abled. We come into this world and typically we leave this world with some level of disability. Babies need to be cared for and aren't self-sufficient. And then as you get older, you usually, if you're lucky enough to get older, lose some self-sufficiency and add in some inability to do your full life tasks independently, right? You need some help. So it's just this advocating movement. If you have this mindset, why are we pandering or deciding, or whatever the negative way you want to look at it, why are we making everything accessible and approachable for everyone with disabilities? It's such a small portion of society. But you need to stop and think that we are all only temporarily abled.
Wow,
that's we're actually designing this for all of us. It's just for most of us, we're not in that season of life right now.
Whoa, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
It gives a very good perspective. Like, you know, even if you're a strong, tall person who can get around and you're fit in that one, there has always been the idea floating around that at any point that could change completely out of your control. And many people have had some sort of independence and ability and are now disabled for a wealth of reasons. And then also, as we get older, we are probably all going to need some of that accessibility at some point. So why are we not all advocating and like loving, putting our love out to the world to give that to other people, to give them the same access we have right now in our lives, because we may need it later in life.
That is such a good point. And it just goes to show that, you know, things should be, just being able to get around is a very basic thing, and we should be looking at all different levels of ability when we're designing, you know, buildings or just how you interact in a public space.
Yeah.
As you know, where I live, there are a lot of historic buildings, very beautiful architecture.
Yeah.
But they do preserve the buildings and try to keep them historically accurate. And so when people go to do, I was going to say reservations, when people go to do renovations on these buildings, if you're in a heritage area in the city, then you have to abide by these bylaws that say you can only use this type of window, this type of brick, these colors, like everything's pre-approved. And because these buildings are from like the 1800s, there just wasn't accessibility built into it. So a lot of the buildings in we call it uptown, but in the downtown area, they're really not very accessible.
No, and it is retrofittable, but then people just don't speak up and don't care.
Well, exactly, and then they say like, well, that doesn't fit the aesthetic of, you know, because we're also like a tourist town. Like we do get a lot of money from cruise ships coming through and tourists who like to see the old architecture, but I mean, I'm sure there are ways.
Oh, absolutely.
You could make it fit.
Yeah, you
can. But like you say, it's very expensive.
Yeah.
And I know even my building where I work, it's not wheelchair accessible.
Really? You work in a giant office building.
I know.
All they'd have to do is slap a ramp out front and then slap a ramp on the inside stairs.
The door, like the pedestrian door, has a lip when you open the door. So there's a lip on the bottom, and you can't, it's such a tight turn to go in. You definitely wouldn't get a motorized, like the scooters. You wouldn't, for sure, would not get that through. And to open the garage door, I believe what you have to do is get someone to go in the pedestrian door inside and then hit the button. Like, I don't think, if you don't have a key, I don't think there's a way to get into the garage from the outside. Which is like, so what would you do? You just kind of got to sit there, I guess, until someone walks by and, you know, you say, could you go in and hit the button for me?
Yeah.
Which is really, it doesn't make any sense when you could, on the first level, it's 4 steps. Once you get inside, all you would have to do is put a ramp in. And I really don't think it would be that stressful. Anyway.
The whole reason we got on that rant is because I hurt my leg, and
right.
I've been appreciating the accessibility that exists. Like, I normally take the stairs at work, and every freaking time I want to go somewhere, I've been taking the elevator, and even kneeling buses. All the buses in my city are kneeling, which means when they stop, the front corner can lower, so it's less of a step up. And the few like most bus drivers just are automatic that no matter the stop, they just kneel. It's just in there.
They just
but the few times that they like look at me, and I obviously look like a young, able-bodied person, maybe not young, but an able-bodied adult, they don't kneel it. I've been kind of like grumbling in my head, because then I have to like grasp both grab bars, haul myself up. And it snowed one day, even though we're in the middle of April, and they hadn't shoveled out the bus stop, which no fault of, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
In my neighborhood, it's not priority, but I stood in the road because I wasn't climbing over the snowbank and then having to climb back over. Like, I'm not going to hurt my leg more. Just bus. This is a quiet road. Just pull a little further out. Don't pull up to the curb. And the bus driver, like, you could tell them being like, why aren't you stepping back when I approach? And it's like, I can't. I am literally drug my bum leg here. You can just pull 6 inches further out and not hit me with the mirror. Do you have a crystal to calm us down?
Well, I do have something crystal adjacent. And you're going to groan at first, but then I think I'm going to get it back, okay?
Okay.
So, what I wanted to talk to everyone about today, this is something that I'm seeing, and maybe it's my targeted ads, but I'm seeing this becoming more common, and that is gem elixirs. And if okay, just hold on now. If you don't know what a gem elixir is, it's essentially just water that's been infused with a crystal. And the idea is that this water is then taking on the properties of the crystal itself. So this is kind of done in 2 ways. You could just have a crystal in water, and then some people will leave it out under the moon just to be kind of cleansed and take in all the properties. And secondly, this is kind of being turned into a commercial thing right now. Glass water bottles, like a normal glass water bottle that you would purchase, a refillable one, with a crystal set into the bottom.
Yeah.
They're very expensive.
Insanely expensive.
And I just want to say, if you're already at the point where you're drinking a crystal water, that's okay. However, the people that are putting out these bottles aren't necessarily checking on the safety of the crystal that you're putting in the water.
It's totally leaching things to people.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I'm getting at. I don't feel that the commercially available options are safe because I don't know what they're using as an adhesive. And we know just from the nature of minerals and crystals, not all of them are safe to consume. And some of them will break down in water, and some of them will have a reaction in water, maybe very mild, but over time, that's not good for you. And if you're also, if you're already concerned about plastic bottles and chemicals that they're leaching into your water, this is no different. A crystal can produce a chemical just like anything else. And I feel like it's a little irresponsible for companies to market these as being health products and good for you when that's really not the case. And it's not just a case of them being woo-woo. It's that some of them may be actively not good for you.
Yeah, they could potentially be harmful
to your health.
Yeah.
And particularly bad are the water bottles that have the little basket in them, so you could put a loose tea or some fruit or something, and that's great. I think those are lovely. However, now there are some people who I feel are unscrupulous are selling those as gem elixir bottles so that you can put...
No.
Yeah, exactly. Which to me is even exponentially more dangerous than selling one with a crystal already in it, because first of all, it might be dirty. Like, you don't know what you're putting in there. That could be bacteria or anything if you're not sterilizing this crystal. But also, if you put a piece of selenite in there, selenite is said to be one of the best crystals for you because it has the highest vibration and it's good for your body. However, that crystal is soluble in water. And if you put that in, that's going to dissolve in your water and you're going to be drinking that. And that's not good for your body.
The other thing that frustrates me about those bottles, too, is you and I have obviously saw these bottles before.
Yeah. And I want one so bad.
They make claims, but also some of them have, it's almost like they acknowledge that you shouldn't be drinking crystal water, yes. So they put the glass dome over it, but then still say that you're getting some sort of power from the crystal.
Well, that's actually one way that the internet suggests that you make a crystal elixir is just to set the crystal like in a shot glass and then put that in the glass of water. So it doesn't actually touch the water. Which, I mean, is what those bottles are doing as well. But yeah, I think I don't want anyone out there to be hurt because they trust someone who says, here's this drink that's going to make you feel better. Here's this water bottle for this gem water. And the fact is you don't know. Unless you've done the research and looked at what these crystals are going to do when they're put into water, like, just be very careful when it comes to putting something inside your body.
Also, even if the crystal is safe on its own, who knows, like, where it was mined, what maybe little bit of vein of another rock or soluble matter is in the crystal too. Who knows how it was polished? Who knows, if it was used with a chemical polish. So I would say you're better off just avoiding it altogether.
I agree.
Put it in your pocket or something.
Yeah, it's good to me. And I mean, all of this is just my opinion, but I think you're going to have the same benefits if you have your crystal with you and it's giving you its energy just from being in your pocket or maybe in your hand, and then drink your water. Just keep them separate. You know, it'll come together in the ether. You don't really need to put them together like that, I feel.
Absolutely.
You know what would be funny if this episode starts a beef with, like, a bunch of Etsy sellers?
This is also the crystal comb at Sephora all over again.
Oh,
that like $200 comb that's just a crystal made into a comb, and it absolutely enraged both of us.
And I even found it aesthetically pleasing, but it still made me mad.
I actually had like an acrylic comb for most of my childhood that kind of looked like it, so I get it. But no, sell it for $25. It's like $2 worth of crystal.
It really is. Don't buy a $200 comb.
I'm rubbing my eyes. It's so bad. I'm just like, no. Anyway, I don't think I have anything else to add, May. Anything else from you?
No, that's all I had today. I just, it's been kind of a slack week. I mean, I've been working, but just not doing much else.
And so I haven't been walking. And I haven't been walking, so I haven't been doing much either. Watching a lot of Mr. Robot.
Oh, I still haven't watched that. I have to watch that.
Yeah. So thank you very much for joining us, everyone. If you haven't followed us on Instagram, please go ahead and do that. Every week, May posts the crystals, or in this case, the crystal water bottles. If you have no idea what you're talking about, she'll post those to show you.
Yeah.
If you have any incidences of spreading the love, or what is your thoughts on this butterfly wing situation, please leave us a comment or send us a DM. We're at euphoralytic, which is the feeling you get from spreading love and getting more love back exponentially. So we're EUPHORALYTIC on Instagram. Send us a chat. Like we said, we'd love to hear from those people that download this podcast and we don't know, because that's like half the people that listen to the podcast, and it's really surprising. So tell us what this is doing for you, or if you just want to hang out and chat, we'd love to do that too. And we will talk to you next time. Have a great week. Bye. Please DM us or leave us a condom, EUPHORALYTIC. And
I think you said leave us a condom.